Hey, you hope you're well in the Lord. Happy New Year. So today I'm coming to you to say hello and thank you so much for always coming back to my videos to watch. I don't take you for granted, and thank you very much for subscribing. Tell a friend to tell a friend that Meds asks you to just press the subscription button and watch the videos. Today we are having an escape outside town, and this is going to be such a lovely drive. And guess who's driving our vehicle today? Mama. And it's going to be an interesting back. My daughter is at the back, and this is going to be an interesting episode, so keep tuned. And we were listening to an audiobook all the way, so enjoy.
Extremely hard to break through. But for
Hey, you people, how are you all doing?
Mommy
Salam.
took 3 sips of Immortal Springs wine.
Yeah,
It already
today
formed the crystal core, so
we're hanging out with my mama. Hey, she's the driver. Today she is the pilot.
And felt the change in his state of existence.
We are going for.
The sensation wasn't overwhelming. It had already been strengthened by the ancient
So they had Trump fan over there.
grass.
Different routes to do it, mama. Let me take you around. Let me take you around.
Leave the Forgotten Garden. He thought, unfortunately, the immortals are only useful to those below the void god realm, and didn't have much value to a king. Thought. Bobby glanced at Carson and the others. They were all resting and enjoying the effects of the wine. Of course, there was also the emotional high of kidnapping the mermaid. Enveloped his soul, and he felt as light as a feather. was flying across the surface of Almetheus Lake when he felt the intent of a king. He raised his head, and his expression turned pensive. The eye of heaven overlooked the lake, and the nearby creatures all felt a pressure on their souls. Bobby may have momentarily obtained his king intent, Ryder thought, but neither his soul nor his cultivation had reached the level of a king. Ryder relaxed once more. As long as Bobby didn't reach the void god realm, he didn't need to be concerned. short time. In a few minutes, it traveled across the most important areas of the Forgotten Garden. In the underground wine cellar, Carson, Lennox, and the others looked at Bobby with complex expressions. In just a short time, they had witnessed Bobby from his half-step kick intent and began forming his majestic power. Filled the air with a sense of mental clarity. The core disciples were stunned, and their weapons started trembling. What in the world is that? Lennox exclaimed. Everyone avoided looking at the bow directly. Bobby was impressed by the bow's physical and mental gravity. Is that the sky-piercing bow? Carson asked. One of the sacred weapons from the Tower of Bounty? Lennox and the others were speechless. The sky-piercing bow was an infamous inheritance. Most inheritance weapons were refined by Sacred Lord, and at least at the peak of the grade. Carson was dumbfounded. Bobby put the sky-piercing bow away, thinking, I probably don't have enough strength to properly use it. Besides, I haven't fully earned the bow's approval. He looked over at Carson and said, Are you familiar with this bow? Trying to sound indifferent, Carson replied. Apparently, the sky-piercing bow has a divine ability to break through space and lock onto a person's soul. Its power is indestructible and irresistible. Bobby took in a cold breath. There's no dodging it, he asked. Carson shook his head and continued. But it requires strong talents for the soul and space or a unique eye bloodline. Bobby suspected the sky-piercing bow had its reasons for choosing him. His eye bloodline was focused on the soul, and it had spatial abilities like the Eye of Heaven. It was an extremely compatible weapon, but it would be challenging for him to try to use it. He needed to wait until after the Forgotten Garden to inspect it. After a while, Bobby stood up and said, Everybody, it's been real. He had used the Eye of Heaven to survey the Forgotten Garden. He knew where he was going next. There is demigod blood in the Palace of Restoration, Bobby thought. It was better than any resource. One drop contained immeasurable divine power for Void God kings and emperors alike. Carson and Lennox frowned. What's the rush? The letter said. They didn't want to leave the cellar because they also needed to stick with Bobby. He was the one controlling the mermaid princess. If he left, the rest of them would be a demonic bloodline. As he approached, a cloud of evil filled the air, and it became difficult to breathe. He was one of the top 10 prodigies in the spiritual lands, and came from the Thousand Darkness sacred clan. Bobby quickly tried to remember everything he had heard about Matthew. There were almost 300 prodigies in the Forgotten Garden, but everyone knew the top 10 prodigies. Wasn't Matthew at the middle stage Great Origin Quorum earlier? Someone whispered. It's only been a couple of days since I last saw him, and his bloodline and cultivation have already increased dramatically. The prodigies all looked at Matthew with respect, and those from the Thousand Darkness sacred clan gazed at him with joy. The Forgotten Garden was full of power, and Matthew's ability to fly meant that he could strengthen himself further.
Unasikia joto.
Forgot about Bobby. In his opinion, none of the people of the True Heart Palace could challenge him.
Baridi ndio hiyo
I'll take the
inakuja.
demigod blood right now, he said with a twinkle in his eyes. I'd better get it done before Lois and Parker just a little bit further. Matthew felt feeling excited. The demigod blood shall soon be mine. Demigod blood was almost divine, and it could change someone's life completely.
lakini huku kwenu mkisema karibu mnamaanisha kutoka hapa kwenda Arusha.
Kama Masai.
Hapa Ukambani Nova.
Just here.
So hata kama unaenda mbali aje, you never even realize. Ona hii ni Baptist church nyingine. Why Baptist alone? Hakuna watu wengine.
There's so many Baptist church.
Kuna church nyingine hapa. Presbyterian, is it the PCU we have in Kenya?
So the souls are real.
Yeah. Sir Ivan, there's a place in this country called Ivan.
No
IRVINE.
or the spiritual lands.
There's so many places called Ivans, and people called
It's
Ivans.
just the tip of the iceberg within the fan universe.
Because the founder of PCA was Sir Ivan.
Though he continued to cultivate
Hii ni watu wa PCA.
the dragonfly man inside the 100-flower garden. Through Loki's eyes, he could see what was happening at the tree. Don't you dare! Kara screamed back. Sheep's purple horn and ordered him to attack Ryder. The latter wasn't scared at all, and blocked
Sorry.
his attack with one single hand. He unleashed an enormous shockwave and a flaming purple ball of light. His golden palm and radiated a faint surge of power. Ryder stood still. His bloodline's aura made everyone cower in fright.
Yeah, but see this.
Go. Hey.
Mbona unatengeneza machines after watu wameteseka wakateseka?
This is good one. Hii karia sijui kama unapaswa ufikirie lakini
Mtu
hapana.
amesema ati nifungue
Hoteli.
This is how niko kwa bidi.
Asante.
Kati yako pekee na grandma. Grandma anaweza kutumia mzigo mzuri. Hii ni nini? Unaweka nini ndani? Hakuna. Okay.
Wanifurahisha sana.
160.
So tunapaswa kuongeza maji baridi?
No, ni sawa tu, ni sawa.
Nizime moto.
Hapa.
If you're doing well, catching up with Meds, keep watching Meds World TV, guys. Love y'all. Ready. Sure. Anapupu bado. So tunatumbukiza.
For a few. Okay.
Imagine pia. Chunga mkono. For how long? How many minutes?
The blind leading at the blind. Tunaingiza kitu for how long?
Mami!
Zinakula. Huyu ni mnyama.
Amesema
Tu hivi wasiwasi siku moja. Utaona jackpot.
ndio. Slowly by slowly.
Kati kwa wapi mami?
Anaongelesha grandpa.
Unaongelesha grandpa? Papa.
Hey, Madam Chef. This is Heather Boy. Kindly check her up on the YouTube channel.
I think nimeweka karoti mingi lakini it won't hurt.
Yeah. Slap ya mama kwani anapatikana wapi?
Kwa duka.
Hapa. Mbona naitwa slap ya mama? That is Swahili.
Just a name yenye nini. It's Kejun.
Which country? Which country is it from?
Ni hapa US.
Slap ya mama. That sounds so Swahili.
Kejun, Louisiana.
Sounds so Swahili, right?
It is so hot you will slap your mom.
Oh, that's what it. Oh, yeah. That's what it is. Oh my God! You can't make these things up, man. Hey, Jesus.
Hello.
Hi, man. Just look at that. You can't make things. Hii ni ya kuku.
Nani kuku?
Wow. Chicken where is?
Imesha nini tu naongojea hii.
Oh my God.
Unataka kunani?
Kuona iko.
Lighting iko mzuri.
Hii yangu.
Have you let a lighting? Excuse me, man.
Hiki iko lighting mzuri.
Sana.
Okay.
Oh my God. can't make these things up, man. Kienyeji chicken. Oh my God. That's how it.
Okay, that's good. This is good. Put up inside, please.
Sambil.
Steam.
Christmas, Christmas, everybody sing.
Mto gani? Mto gani hadi tunaishi
Kuna.
hiyo ni nini umeweka yote?
Adongo.
Ulilamu. Ungelipuka. Ni mchele yako ndio hiyo. Ndio huku nzima. Ninaika kidogo tu. Kidogo tu. Sawa. Unajua wewe kutokelezea kwa nini?
Nilikuwa ninamtaka kumwambia awache.
Unashangaa really ishi. Mbona dada wazeni kuko gani?
Yeah, hiyo korona itakusumbua.
Unidiseke yako kapiti. Unidisa. Iko. Ya liquid. Liquid? Umeona liquid roiko?
Ile yenye unaongeza na maji.
Mami Yesu yakupangia chini. Yesu yakupangia chini.
Hiyo ni ya kugonga gonga huko kwa ukuta.
Sasa wewe ugonga ukuta.
Ukuta hapa hivi. Hapa hivi hapa. Hizo unataka nikunini? Nikubonde.
Sukuma.
Lazima tutest.
Kesho.
Atupiki ya kula kabla tujatoka. Atupiki. Na pia dada yako si atamini kakula. Kama kesho nataka kupikia pia kidogo. Mna bombard nini na unnecessary comments. Bidi.
Target. What? Hey. You can't make these things up, I'm telling you. Chef Hassan. This is Heather. Boy,
Bayo.
wacha nikuje
Fanya ile bangu. Nimeiva kwa soft mzuri.
It's kienyeji chicken, man. Look at how yummy. Oh my god. Tawala Kenya, tawala, Raisi Moi, tawala Kenya, tawala. Hey, yeah, yeah, tawala Kenya,
Tawala. Mwai Kibaki.
tawala Kenya. Ugali, here we come.
Ui, ona vile falling off the bone nime over. Nimenini.
Ndio mzuri hapa kwa hiyo. Inamaanisha kitachemka tu.
Kwa chakula. Hakitatosha.
Falling off the bone. Ui, off the bone.
Wow. That's what I was thinking. Twende.
Stew. Ya nini?
Ikadhi anataka ku make stew.
Oh, nilikuwa nafikiria unaniuliza.
Hii style ni unique.
Tatu. Nilikuwa nachemsha hii for only 5 minutes.
Nini?
Lakini hii nikiweka 10 minutes kwa sababu nini ilikuwa iko kwa hivi.
Lakini hiyo kuiva ndio mzuri, si ndio una
Ndio ninachemsha. Mami hiyo ugali iko.
Honye. Ndio maana ninatakanga sitakangi maji moto.
Nilikuta kitambo.
oh,
Au
warm.
kuchemsha.
Nilikuta kitambo.
No. Hebu niwekee hiyo.
Mashine ya
Hey, mommy. Ona, huyu nani teacher Rachel? Who's this guy? Teacher Rachel? Bless? Madam. Come.
Hey!
Amo tukakuka pale.
You like dog?
Kaka karibu na mama kati.
Niambia dada lete mkate.
Mkate.
Hapendi nitatoa.
Kwa sababu tuko na vitu nyingi za kufuatilia. Jana hatuko na nini. Unataka kuwekelea hii grease? Kuiweka hapo hivyo. Sawa. Unakulia tu.
I'm so sneezing.
You're so sweet.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I'm Mama.
Okay, no, you're not going yet. You're going to doggy. Mom is still here. Mom is not leaving yet. The dog and the chicken. You want to see the chicken? No, you want to see the chicken. The chicken wants to see you. Okay, don't go there because they can't come to their reversing. Okay? You don't want to be near the car. You don't want the car to crash. You stay away. Sit on the way. Okay? Okay? Very. Okay.
Let's go. Are you
Okay.
eating?
Are you eating?
Yes.
Luna. 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 He is he, the King of glory is here. He is he. Tamwambia ni ukimwona, tamwambia nini ukimwona. Tunainama, tunainuka, Mungu ni mmoja tu. Yeah, thank you so much for always joining Med's World TV. We always appreciate. Guys, kindly go check out this. Is Heather Boyle. Show her some love from this side. You know how we do it, we spread love. And that is what you're doing. So we are hanging out here. We're ensuring that everything is clean, 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 clean. As you can see, and calling your night. Love you guys, and kindly, if you've not joined my membership, I request you to go there and support your girl. You know, we only preach love. That is what we preach. God bless you so much. Thank you. Hi, He is he, the King of glory is here. He is he. Tamwambia ni ukimwona, tamwambia nini ukimwona. Tunainama, tunainuka, Mungu ni mmoja tu. Yeah, thank you so much for always joining Med's World TV. We always appreciate. Guys, kindly go check out this. Is Heather Boyle. Show her some love from this side. You know how we do it, we spread love. And that is what you're doing. So we are hanging out here. We're ensuring that everything is clean, 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 clean. As you can see, and calling your night. Love you guys, and kindly, if you've not joined my membership, I request you to go there and support your girl. You know, we only preach love. That is what we preach. God bless you so much. Thank you.